Alright, in this video we are going to talk about how to add polynomials. So add polynomials. Okay, and a polynomial is when you have more than one term, like x plus 5 is a polynomial. This one's called a binomial because it has two. Another polynomial would be x squared plus 7x plus 3. This one is also a polynomial. Poly means more than one, so this one has two. It's called a binomial. And this one has three terms. It's called a trinomial. If you have more, it's just still called a polynomial. You just count how many terms it has by where your pluses or minuses are. So another one would be like 3x cubed minus 1. This one has two terms, so it's a polynomial, it's a binomial, this first term and second term. And what we're going to do today is learn how to add them together. And so let's look at one. Let's say I have this 7x plus 5 plus x plus 2. So I have two polynomials I'm going to add. This is my first polynomial right here, and then my second. And what I have to do is I have to add the ones that are the same. So I have 7x and 1x. Those are the same, so I put those two together. So that gives me 8x. And then I have to add the numbers, so I have 5 plus 2, so that gives me 7. And it was positive 7, so it's a plus. That's how you add polynomials. Let's look at another one. What if I have negative x plus 3 plus 5x plus 6? Okay, so we have to add the ones together that are the same. So I have x here, or negative x there, and 5x. So when I add them together, remember this is like a 1, so that gives me 4x, because this one was negative, plus, if I add these two together, the numbers, that gives me 9, and that is my answer. Now let's try one that has three terms. 3x squared minus 7x plus 1 plus, let's do plus x squared minus x. So now you have to start with the one that has this little squared term, the little power here. So you have this one and this one that are the same. So if I add them together, 3 and 1 gives me 4x squared. And then I have an x, I have this one, so minus 7x and minus 1x, and I'm adding them, and they're both negative, so they have to be added, and I get minus 8x, and then the only thing I have left is this 1. There's nothing to add it to, so it's just like saying plus 1, so I just put plus 1. It's like saying you're adding it to 0, so that is my answer. Let's try another one. How about 6x squared plus 5x plus negative 9x plus 4. Okay, let's start with this term, 6x squared. Does anything here match it? There's no matches, so we just rewrite it. We copy it down, 6x squared. And then we go to 5x. Does anything match 5x? Negative 9x does. So when I add them together, because one is positive, one is negative, I get negative 4x. And then what do I have left? I have this 4. Does anything match it? No, nothing matches it, so I put plus 4. And this is my polynomial I get when I add them together. Let's try another one. Let's try negative 3x squared plus x minus 1 plus x squared plus x minus 4. And now what you're going to do is you're going to add those together. So I'm going to start here. I have negative 3x squared. Does anything match the x squared? This one has an x squared. So we're going to add those two together. So negative 3 plus 1 gives me negative 2x squared. Then I go to my next one. I have 1x. And on this term I have 1x. So 1 plus 1 gives me plus 2x. And then my last thing that I have is I have a negative 1 and a negative 4, and I'm adding them together, so that gives me a negative 5, and that is my answer. Alright, now you need to go to Canvas and do the practice.